I need that. They need to know.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Congratulations on the show. And I got one last thing. Stay juicy, you know? Just do it. Alexander, how's it going, bud?
Hey, mate. Good to see ya.
Good to see you as well. And I want to start off. Congratulations on Grosse Point Garden Society. It's a wonderful show, and I'm so glad to see you on a broadcast television series.
I appreciate it, Chad. Thank you. It's you know what it means to be on broadcast TV. It's a lot of fun, and I'm grateful to be here.
Yeah, it's interesting because I noticed that the more I watch a lot of these shows and talk to these people, is that a lot like some people have been on guesting on series throughout the years, for you in particular, and for a lot of other people, popping up on the CW shows, and that's kind of like that's like doing like the fundamentals, and then finally you get to do your own thing on a bigger show on a bigger network, and I love it.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, CW. I actually filmed my CW shows in Atlanta, where we film Grosse Point Garden Society. So it is a bit of a full circle moment,
Yeah.
as you say. Yeah, it's I think it's the journey as an actor, right? You sort of when you arrive at a network TV series, you kind of yeah at a maybe at a milestone point you can look back at the journey that got you here, and
Yeah.
there is a lot of similarities between the cast members of where we've come through. I did an interview this morning on a morning show, and
Mhm.
they were talking about Law and Order and how several of us in the cast have all been on Law and Order, and again, it's another rite of passage as an actor.
Yeah, it's when you start seeing like familiar faces, then you have to put everything together and go, well, this is what's going to happen. You see someone pop up on Law and Order, you're right. They were on Broadway. Oh, now they're on Law and Order. They must be living some type of life.
Yeah.
It's also great because this is a show that is so it has so much personality. It's so bright and it's so fun. And even I saw the first two episodes. Even when we get to that reveal in the end of the second episode,
Mhm.
where Anna Sophia finds a gun that you may have hidden. I don't know. I didn't see the rest, but and you're just sitting there enjoying music. I'm so titillated, and I sound like an asshole saying that, but I'm so titillated, just waiting to see what's going to go down.
It is, I mean, look, titillating is a great word. It is, I've been using the word juicy like it's going out of style.
Mm.
It's something that really it grips you, you know.
Yeah,
It's when you say the drama, that's what this show brings, and it brings it in a fun and playful way, which I think is what makes it titillating. There is something almost almost nonsensical sometimes
yeah,
as an element in the show. And I think that's very intentional that, I think on another show, on another network, the stakes might be presented in a way that's very dramatic and serious
yeah.
and might be a little less gratifying to watch. But I think the way that this story is packaged, that the drama is there, the circumstances, the stakes are high, but there is just a slight element of this show that's a little off skew,
Mhm.
where it just I think it makes it so satisfying because the characters say things that we don't get to say in real life, and they do things that we don't get to do in real life, and I think that's the part that we really tune in for is like
Yeah.
it's the payoff, almost the schadenfreude maybe in a certain sense as to how these characters navigate what they're going through.
There was a moment in I don't know what episode, but there's a moment where the woman who plays your mother, the actress, she comes in and she looks down on the table and sees the sandwich bag full of the
Yeah.
dog's ashes, and she goes, "Don't spoil your appetite." And then you go, "That's Molly, Mom." And it is just such a funny, dry delivery. And yes, that is the Schadenfreude of it all because it's the show kind of doesn't take itself seriously, and yet everything in it is serious, including where these people fall on the ladder in society. Like, you're out there struggling to make a living with you and your wife, your partner, and yeah, but on the inside, no one else knows that you guys are doing that. On the inside, you guys are just being yourselves versus on the outside, you have to be all these other people.
Yeah, of course. And I think I mean that speaks so much to Doug's experience where, Doug's parents want them to have the baby, want them to become Grosse Point elite and want to join society as the well-to-do high earners of Grosse Point society. And they don't necessarily see that for themselves. It feels incongruent to
Right.
who they are. As you say, internally, the internal landscape of Doug and Alice is very artistic, it's very expressive, but they don't really have the avenue in the world that they live in to express that. And I think that is something that, we all kind of have that where we do feel that we are a certain way inside, but we do have to put a mask on or wear certain charades as we navigate the world outside. And yeah, a bit of a crossroads. I think Doug and Alice tend to in their storyline have quite a bit of conflict as a result of that because it's kind of like it ends up, I guess the more existential question posed in a nonsensical way is who do we want to be and who do we have to be? And I think that question is asked of every character throughout the
Mm,
series, throughout this
yeah.
season. And we see how they answer that time to time.
Yeah, it's as I was watching it, I always think about when I watch any of these shows, who are the characters I would hang out with? Who would I spend my
Mm.
time with? None of you, all of you are irreprehensible. I just can't do it. You're all such, I mean, like, you least of all, Doug least of all. But I just, everybody's just so up in their own ass about doing their own thing, and I couldn't hang out with any of them at all. It's insane.
Mate, you don't watch reality TV because you want to hang out with them. You watch it because you've got no idea what these people are really like because you
Yeah.
don't hang out with them. And then when you see them on screen, you get to know them and you think, "Ah, that's what this is." I think the characters of this show, and again, what I love about these characters is that they're not inherently wonderful people.
You're right.
They're all doing things that would be considered frowned upon, and mostly for good reason. But I think it exposes a more truth, a larger truth to our society that look, there's a reason people do these things. There's a reason people have affairs. There's a reason people make brash decisions in careers and at home. It's because certain motivators that go unfed or malnourished, they don't go away. And that's that's true of all of us, that we
Mm,
do need to kind of understand that we do have the capacity to do these unlikable things and be these unlikable people. And what I love so much about the show is that it shows likable people doing unlikable things. And it's messy. It's real
yeah.
in that regard. And it's something that we all have a voice inside our heads telling us not to do at any given moment throughout the day. And like I said, these characters do it, and we get to enjoy that moment, whether or not we judge them for the actions.
Yeah. That was a very smart answer to my dick an question.
No,
Now, my
actually,
final.
no, I actually do like the way you're wording these things. I'm going to take a few of them for a few more interviews. I'll be like, yeah, well, actually, this show, as Chad said, yeah.
And yes, thank you for the attribution. My final question would be: Do you? They're planting things in these gardens. They're gonna make food. They're making beautiful flowers. What are you planting in your garden? What's that? If you had to answer
Are you
that one
talking to Alexander or Doug?
as Alexander.
Oh, as Alexander, mate, I'll tell you, in my garden, Chad, my garden. First of all, gonna have a couple of horses just because I
Yeah,
did
fair.
horse riding for a job once and I fell in love with it. I'm gonna have animals, mate. I'm gonna have a goat because goats, you don't have to mow the lawn when you got a goat.
Mhm.
I'll have a couple of sheep. I'll have a couple of cows, and in the garden is going to be start off with tomatoes because I love tomatoes, and
Fair.
then we're going to go with a mango tree. They take a while though, so I'm going to get a mango tree planted, maybe one
Got
that's
it.
already a couple of years old because I want my mangoes. And then from there, I'll do some peppers and then some leaves. I'd like to make a salad with what's in my garden, and then maybe down the road I'll have some root vegetables for winter because when winter
Oof.
comes, I want a hearty stew, mate.
Yeah.
I want a stew, and maybe a couple of rabbits or deer or something that won't get names because something needs to go in the stew. We'll see.
Okay. Hey, that's perfect. I love that. Well,
I've got a
Alexander,
vision, mate, as you can see. I've thought about this.
Yeah, no, and that's great because you're gonna get that question at least 4 or 5 more times in the next couple hours. And I want to be the first one to ask it.
Well, that's it.
Um,
That's it. You got in there early, so you got the honest answer.
yes, yes. Alexander, this has been a delight. You're very, very smart. You're very intuitive, and I appreciate you
Thank
sitting
you.
down with me.
Can I call my
Congrats on
parents
the
so you can tell
show.
them that right now? I need that. They need to know.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Congratulations on the show, and I got one last thing. Stay juicy, you know. Just do
It's Juicy Couture over here, baby. Nothing but
it.
vanilla.
All right, buddy. Have a good day.
You too, mate. Take it easy.
Yeah.